Alright guys, welcome back to another operaomnia video where we are going to be talking about Deuce's LD weapon, the next upcoming newest LD weapon to be arriving to global operaomnia alongside with a Mediterranean's Lost Chapter event. We're going to talk about exactly what her LD ability does, what it brings to party comp, so that way you can decide whether or not it's worth pulling for her LD weapon or not. So, as always, if you do enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for future content. We are getting very close to 2,000 subscribers, and y'all support would be greatly appreciated. I plan on doing a giveaway once we hit 2,000 subs, so definitely if you do find this video informative, consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's talk about Deuce's LD weapon. So Deuce's LD ability is called the Hymn of Healing. It recovers the party's HP by 80% of the individual's max HP. It increases the party's Brave by 50% of their max Brave, and it is a 6-hit AoE magic Brave attack plus an AoE HP attack. Increases the Brave damage dealt by 60% when attacking a single target. The gained Brave can overflow up to 120% of their max Brave. The stolen Brave can overflow up to 150% of their max Brave. And her attack does 100% HP damage to all targets. She increases her own Brave by 10% of the total HP damage dealt. And she gives herself a 6-turn special effect called the Hymn of Healing, and she gets a free ability use on her next turn. Now, while her Hymn of Healing is active, she grants herself a +3 buff duration on her special effect, which is the little icon above her head. She raises the party's attack by 20%. She increases the party's magical Brave damage dealt by 30% and HP damage dealt by 10%. It increases the party's stolen and gained Brave overflow by 20%, and then she also restores the party's HP by 10% of the individual's max HP. Now, while you have her LD special effect active and you have her note buff on the entire party, her HP attack turns into HP attack plus. It increases her own Brave by 15% of her max Brave, and it is a 2-hit magic Brave plus HP attack with 120% max Brave overflow. Also, while the note buffs is active on the entire party, the party gets an increase on their Brave based off 20% of the HP damage dealt that they do to the enemy. Also, while her special LD effect is active, if you do have Crescendo active from a skill 2, her Brave attack becomes a Brave attack plus, and it is a 3-hit magic Brave attack, and it increases the party's Brave by 15% of her max Brave. Also, the party gets an increase of Brave potency by 90% as long as her note buff is active on everybody on the party. Now, when you are using Deuce's calls, her first call ability recovers party's Brave by 30% of their max Brave, and the caller and the party receives a 30% magic attack up. When you are using her LD call, the party recovers party's HP by 40% of their max HP. They also recover their Brave by 50% of their max Brave, and then the caller gets an increase to the Brave damage dealt by 30%. Now the big question comes, should you pull for Deuce's LD or should you skip out and wait for it to come back in a future banner? Well, here's the thing. Here is how you should look at it with Deuce's kit. So Deuce's LD ability basically just focuses on helping magical type units deal that extra little bit of damage because she raises the party's attack, she helps out with magical Brave damage, she increases overflow, she has that 10% HP damage dealt, and she restores the party's HP based on their own HP, right? So she is there to kind of give that extra little bit of boost to magical type units. Like, take example Terra. Terra is mainly focused on magical type attacks, so that extra boost that you are getting from Deuce's auras from her LD ability could help Terra, actually no, will help Terra in dealing that extra little bit of Brave damage. Now, also look at it this way. If you have Hope's LD weapon, which if you don't know what Hope's LD weapon does, real quick, basically it gives the enemy, or it inflicts the enemy with a magical resist down. So, and he is the only character in the game so far that has that. So with that, magic resist down, anybody who does any type of magic type attacks will be doing weakness damage, will be doing that increased brave damage on the enemy. So with that, you are also getting defensive type buffs. So Hope is mainly there to not only give that extra little boost of magical brave damage to your magical units, but he is also covering you in the defense aspect, you know, on taking on hits, because he does have that little bit of HP overflow, and of course he has that melee defensive buffs and magical defensive buffs. So he's kind of like a jack of all trades, but not 100%. Now, if you do have Hope's LD weapon, you could probably skip out on Deuce's LD and probably wait on it on a future banner when you can maybe pick it up whenever you are trying to pull for somebody else's LD banner. But if you have Hope's LD weapon, I think you'll be just fine with skipping out on Deuce's LD. Just because, like, even though she is providing that increase in magical brave damage, party attack, etc., even using her as a call is not really all that, because like you're not getting too much. Now, if you do combine, let's say, her call with Hope's call, and then you have somebody else like a different supporter to help you out, like take example Sarah, Balthier, who has better auras in my opinion, then you can really be capping out on damage whenever you have that 1 or 2 DPS characters, magical DPS characters, and you're trying to knock out the enemy as quickly as possible. You know, that's an option right there as well. But again, you're not getting too much out of it, which I can see why a lot of people are considering skipping her, because she's not providing too much. And like I said, Hope is pretty much an alternative to Deuce in terms of providing that extra little bit of support damage wise for your magical type units. So it's reasons why I definitely see people considering skipping Deuce and probably just holding out until a future banner. So but overall though, I mean, this is not a bad, she's not a bad unit. She's not in any shape or form a bad unit. You know, she has her uses, and she does provide you know, she does provide good amount of battery to the party. She does provide good healing whenever you do have her in your team comp. But outside of that, it's not really all that in my opinion. I mean, and like I said, if you have Hope's call, if you have Hope's LD ability, then I think you'll be just fine with skipping out on her. You can probably just wait on for a future banner. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys feel about Deuce and whether or not you are going to be pulling for her LD ability. And yeah, other than that, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next video.